An Unconventional Threesome is a comedy podcast hosted by three rude, crude, and tattooed dudes. We tell you this so you can shield your children's eyes and cover their ears. If you don't, we are not responsible for the fun and exciting new words that they start using. Enjoy!
Welcome to the show, yeah, it's a blast. Turn the volume up, we got to laugh. Every joke's a hit, you'll have a fit. Sit back, relax, let's start this bit. Tuned in live from the internet's heart, where every word is a work of art. Comedy gold, it never gets old. Jump aboard, let the fun unfold.
Welcome to an Unconventional Threesome, a conversation podcast that is hosted by two dudes, one chick, cause D is a dick, who have no business having a podcast. My name is John, and I recently applied at Smith & Wesson to work as a taste tester. As it turns out, that isn't a thing.
Hey, Jay's here too.
And MK's here too. I'm stealing your intro, Jay.
It's okay. You can borrow it. We're friends.
Oh wait, D is here too! I'm the sexy appeal!
I guess I should take over the sexy appeal for D.
Yeah, so as you can see, D has abandoned us once again, but we will prevail. You guys ready to get into the questions of the night?
Sure, let's make some magic.
Please.
All right. Let's start with this one. What is the stupidest reason that you have been to the emergency room? I think my answer on this one, it's going to be pretty hard to follow. So, as a child, I was as most children are, a very avid fan of candy. And I believe it was around Halloween time that I was given a box of Nerds. And being the young chap that I was, and I was very curious. Almost killed the cat on this one. But I decided that sticking a big nerd in my ear was a great idea for one reason or another. And I had to go to the emergency room so they could flush it out because it was not just melting and going away as was expected. And it was way the fuck down in there.
So did you use a Q-tip to push it in?
I think my grubby little children mitts must have been small enough to shove it way the fuck in there.
More to the point, did you eat it once you got it out? Because that's a invested nerd at that point.
It was pretty well diluted with saline solution and liquid at that point, so I don't think it was possible.
Did they reimburse you for the nerd?
Yeah. How long did it take them to get it out?
I don't remember. I think they basically warmed up some saline solution in the microwave or something and basically melted it out.
Has that contributed to your current hearing loss situation?
You know, if it wasn't both ears, I would say yes, but since it's in both ears, I'm going to say no. And for anyone that doesn't know, I'm partially deaf.
I have a couple of follow-ups to that. Number one, I stuck a bead up my nose, but it came out, so I didn't have to go to the emergency room for that. And two, I guess the dumbest reason?
The stupidest, close enough.
Okay. Dehydration is, I went to the ER for dehydration. That's pretty stupid.
Was that when we were together?
Yes.
Okay, that was the Malibu night.
No.
It wasn't the Malibu night where I was pretty sure you had alcohol poisoning?
No. I think I was just dehydrated after getting like a UTI.
Gotcha.
And they almost became a kidney infection.
That's right. That was when you puked on me.
Yes.
Husband of the year right here.
So are we counting urgent care on this one?
Yeah, fuck it.
All right, so I have a three-way tie, and I will let you guys be the judge. So I had one instance where I was slurring my words and I couldn't grip anything, so I thought it was neurological. Turned out it was an inner ear infection after a lot of advanced imaging.
That which came super cheap, I'm sure.
Oh, yes, it was fantastic. Number two is I wound up, it turns out it was Bell's palsy after a bunch of imaging, but we thought it might have been a stroke. So that was another expensive trip. Turned out to be not all that big a deal. And the one I should have said was number two, um, distended intestine loops, which was severe bloating and even more severe need to go poo.
I don't think the heart one counts as stupid.
Was there a heart one? No,
Yeah,
the
the
inner ear
palsy.
infection or Bell's palsy. I think those ones are two. Those two ones. Those two are valid.
Okay, well then it was my need to poo.
Well, that reminds me of another time that I went to the emergency room in college. I was having severe abdominal pain as well as severe lower back pain. So I'm like, okay, it's right in the area of my kidneys. Maybe I should head to the ER. Get to the ER. Once again, X-rays, advanced imaging, all that horse shit. And the doctor walks into the exam room and he's like, all right, so we figured out that you are obstipated. And I looked at him like cockeyed. And he's like, basically, you're not constipated, but you're not pooping to your full potential. So, prescription for magnesium citrate and 4 hours of my life of wanting to die, we got that corrected.
That is some rough stuff, man.
Well, I was watching a TikTok and this guy on a dare took magnesium citrate and basically filmed the entire process. And since I'm 12 years old, just listening to him fart and blow his toilet up for probably about 4 hours was kind of amusing. Obviously, I didn't watch it for 4 hours, but this gentleman brought his Nintendo Switch with him. He brought beverages and food, which goes 100% against everything that we talked about in one of our episodes, bringing any sort of edible into the bathroom. But it was kind of amusing. All right. You guys can gain one superpower right now. What is it and why?
Okay, for evil reasons, I have a choice of two. One of them is to simply be infinitely persuasive to the point that I can just think about somebody doing something and it makes them do it. And if I can't do that, I would like the ability to start and stop time, move throughout it undetected for absolutely selfish personal gain in both cases.
Jay, this is a superpower. Why would number one, ultimate persuasion, not be, I don't know, acceptable or approved?
Well, I mean, the thing is, I would use them both identically, so infinite persuasion would probably be more time effective, so I wouldn't have to actually do the things myself. So I'll stick with my first option.
Okay. It's your superpower. You decide the limits.
How awesome would it be to just make people do stuff? Just make things happen by thinking it.
That's a lot of responsibility, and I'm not willing to take that on.
Oh no, I don't know it impacts anyone but me, so we're totally fine.
Well, have you seen the Simon Pegg movie? Anything, Anytime, I think it's called. Anything, Anytime. Nope. Simon Pegg movies. I can't fucking type. Cool.
It's
Now
something
I'm
about dreams or
absolutely anything. That's what it is. But he is given control to do anything that he wants at any time by these aliens that try and determine if the humans are good enough to keep on Earth or destroy the planet. And it kind of destroys his life by being able to do anything he wants at any time.
I can see that. It's kind of like, just for the sake of argument, gambling. it no longer is fun if you win every single hand. Like there has to be a risk of loss in there for it to be in any way entertaining. And I would think you'd get pretty bored with knowing you could do or have whatever you wanted on a whim.
No, I agree.
I'd still take it though.
Go Jay.
And it would not be good. And if I were in that position for that movie, I'm going to tell you, bye bye Earth. We're done. I'll give us a day before the aliens were like, no, if this is this person, we're done. Blow it up.
Well, in Bruce Almighty too, I know that's kind of a different take on it. He starts using it for selfish purposes and once again ruins his life. But he also has the ability to hear everybody's prayers, and that also ruins his life.
Yeah, so you have to mix like the person's wants with your wants.
I'm kind of in agreement with Jay, though. I would love the ability to control time, either speed it up or slow it down. And that's, I watch too many movies, but, kind of based on click. As long as it doesn't automatically start doing shit for me and learning, I would be okay with that. As long as I am in control at all times. But yeah, once again, for 100% selfish reasons.
I mean, a less damaging one I'd thought of would be anywhere in the world you travel, as soon as you're there, you are instantly fluent in the native language.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
For our hedonistic desires, we would rather control everything.
Lie, cheat, and steal.
Oh, yeah. Badly.
So what's the first thing you would do with your superpower then? Like Jay for the ultimate persuasion and John for the time. What's the first thing?
For persuasion, I would probably start small just to see how it worked. But ultimately, it would be to make very big things that I think should be happening happen. Kind of like, while we're getting goofy, if you think about like metabolic rate, if you could snap your fingers and burn as many calories as you wanted to in whatever time frame you wanted to without exercising, you wouldn't want to start with 80,000 calories, because what if your heart explodes? You
Yeah.
start small.
Right.
Okay, let's burn 200 in the next 2 minutes. How'd that work, etc. I would do that kind of thing. Like whether it was controlling traffic, whether it was I'm at the store and everyone gets out of my way and says, no, you go first. Okay, good. I saved some time. How'd that work? But eventually it would spiral into oblivion.
Yeah, can you imagine getting in time manipulation, an hour's worth of running done in 4 seconds? Yeah, I'd be down for a 4-second run, not run, 10 miles.
Yeah.
Granted, my heart might explode, but
So I'm going to be boring. My answer is the ability to fly. I dreamt of flying off the stairs when I was younger, and I just want to know what that feels like.
We got to get you to go skydiving.
That's falling.
with style.
Yeah.
I mean, I would probably, if I had gone, I would probably consider it fun, but it's falling.
It feels like the air is actually pushing you up into the sky because you're moving that fast and it's that windy for you.
So I would know what it feels like.
Sort of.
Yeah.
You would know what it feels
Okay.
like to fly with broken wings for a minute. Yes.
Well, maybe we'll get you in one of those skydiving tubes that they have where it's indoor skydiving.
Oh yeah, were they supposed to have those? Some sporting goods store?
They
I
have
don't
one
know.
relatively close, air quotes, close to where the two of us reside.
Okay.
Good to know. Happy birthday to you. Happy.
Is it Jay's birthday?
No.
No, I'm insinuating that's your birthday present.
Oh, okay. Whoosh.
Yeah, having the ability to fly, that would be a good one as well. Strictly for the reason you don't have to wait in line at TSA. Although, would you have to check in with traffic
Air
control?
traffic control.
Air traffic control. When you're flying, so make sure you don't fly into some fucking Cessna or shit.
So all of us really just want to do things that are going to save time because she could be a treetop flyer, avoid air traffic control in the FAA, and still get places as the crow flies, so to speak, and save a bunch of time. So yeah, we're all just trying to manipulate time in one level or another.
I guess that's true. Time and space.
Me, literally. Speaking of which, I just got
Power to manipulate time.
Did you put us in the 3000s?
I don't think I would constitute it as time travel. I would continue to age as I do now. I would just be able to basically fast forward or slow things down to half speed, pause type things like that.
Could you rewind and go past in your life?
No. I'm drawing a line there because that becomes time travel, and that whole thing breaks my brain when I try and think about it.
Okay.
How much money would you have to be paid to listen to Dolly Parton's 9 to 5 for the rest of your life? And the caveat on this one is it must always be audible to you. You can turn it down to like 1, like with a volume knob in your head, or you can turn it up, but it must always be heard.
So you're talking every waking moment of the day forever.
Forever.
There is no amount of money, sir.
I was gonna say. What about sleeping moments? Can I sleep in peace and silence?
Nope.
God damn it.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
I don't think there's any amount of money. My
Nope.
sleep is too important.
Much love for Dolly, but for that frequency, no. Like if you said 12 times a day, oh yeah, I would do that. But we're talking, it's the soundtrack you can't get rid of. Nope.
I think I'd go insane.
Well, I already have ringing in my ears due to the hearing loss, and I've learned to live with that, but I just have a constant 24 hours a day ringing in my ears.
But it's not a melody with lyrics.
I really don't think it would be all that different for me though, because it's always audible at all times. So I'd probably throw a number out of like $5 million or some crazy shit like that, enough where I don't have to work ever again. But at the same time, if you start to really break it down and think about it, now I don't have to work anymore. Now my mind's not working as much as it does now. So would it then become more noticeable to me because I'm sitting in silence?
Right. What happens when you become retired and this is still going on?
Can you sacrifice your hearing so you just force yourself to be deaf?
But it's in his
No.
head. Yeah.
Yeah, this one's rough. No amount of money. Sorry, Dolly, but no.
So you're just gonna die?
I wouldn't want any amount of money to do that.
I'm putting that caveat on it.
What?
Pick a number.
Imminent death or a number.
Yep.
I guess Elon's broke and I'm taking all his cash.
Elon Musk's $409 billion is Jay's answer.
That's the number, sir.
And I thought I was going to be the highest at like 15 billion, but I guess not.
Reach for the stars.
At that point, at 15 billion, I've got to have some kind of like way to build myself a soundscape thing that like coincides with 9 to 5, but makes it sound different and pleasant. Or I don't know, just different.
Yeah, like I said, I really don't think it would alter my life all that much. So I'm gonna stick to my 5 mil because I got at least a few years left in me.
Hopefully a few plus some.
Only time will tell. Next question. What is the most memorable advertising jingle in your opinion? We're talking straight up earworm, pops into your brain randomly and is there for days on end. Mine's kind of split between two. The J.G. Wentworth commercial or Cars for Kids.
Yeah.
Oh dear God.
Yeah, because if we're talking about that just won't go away, I was gonna say Cars for Kids. That's not the most memorable to me, but if it's the most annoying and won't go away, that's my answer.
I have a structured settlement and I need cash now.
No free advertising without sponsorship.
Yeah, are we gonna have an advertiser this week?
Might be a little late for Lenny on that. I think we crossed the
Okay.
halfway point.
For me, it might be the Mentos commercial.
Oh, I just listened to that one today too. How the fuck does that one go?
Yeah, remind me because I don't know how it goes either.
Yeah, I think that might have been the one that was stuck in my head earlier today.
Can you do it?
No, I refuse to sing.
What amount of money will it take to take Jay to sing on the podcast?
409 billion.
I don't think an unconventional threesome is worth that much.
No, our net worth is not that high at this point. We don't have that kind of earning power.
It might be a negative net worth.
I'm gonna put something in the chat and see if it plays while I'm recording.
It doesn't matter what comes, fresh goes better in life. With Mentos fresh and full of life. Nothing gets to you, staying fresh, staying cool. With Mentos fresh and full of life. Fresh goes better. Mentos freshness. Fresh goes better with Mentos fresh and full of life.
Mentos, the fresh maker.
Oh no. YouTube done me dirty by Googling that one because now I got another one. The freecreditreport.com
Oh.
commercials.
Yes.
Those were
Okay,
brilliant.
that's my new answer.
So, in my former job, everyone has their own little quirks, their own little skills, you can call them that. We had one woman that worked with us that, for whatever reason, she had all of those freecreditreport.com jingles memorized, and she used to just sing them constantly on repeat.
I'm pretty sure I memorized it too at one point. I remember happily singing it. Like it wasn't a bad thing that it was in my head. It was a good thing.
Well, I was shopping for a new car. Which one's me? A cool convertible or an SUV? Too bad I didn't know my credit was whack, cause now I'm driving off the lot in a used subcompact. F-R-E-E, that spells free. Creditreport.com, baby. Saw their ads on my TV. Thought about going but was too lazy. Now instead of looking fly and rolling fat, my legs are sticking to the vinyl and my posse's getting laughed at. F-R-E-E, that spells free. Creditreport.com, baby.
Offer applies with enrollment and triple advantage.
And now it's stuck in everyone's head.
Did I give my answer? Yeah, JG Wentworth or Cars for Kids. There we go. Is Cars for Kids local to us or is it nationwide? I was thinking about that earlier when I was trying to think of my answer.
I think it's a front for organized crime.
What crime are they doing?
No idea. I don't want to implicate any specific family or entity for my own safety, but I think it's a front.
Cars for Kids is a national Jewish nonprofit organization that primarily facilitates car donations to fund educational, developmental, and recreational programs for youth. They are known for their charitable work and their recognizable jingle. While they focus on youth development programs, some critics question to the extent which funds are directed to their sister organization, URA.
Ooh-rah.
I've never heard of URA. URA is...
Money laundering?
to help Jews everywhere connect with their rich heritage and traditions.
Okay, so not money laundering.
No.
Of course, they wouldn't advertise it if it was a front. They're not going to be like, "Hi, we're illegal."
Right.
Now,
Well,
I feel like most charities are a front for unscrupulous activities.
internet searches now, especially with AI, should be able to pull up what other people are writing on the internet about that charity. And if they find enough similarities, it's going to come up as, yeah, some people are concerned with the amount of money that such and such gives to such and such.
Yeah. My wife happens to think some of the larger ones that are pretty recognizable from a medical standpoint. not to name names, but every time we see commercials for those, it's, oh, that's a front. That's not.
Wait, you're not talking about the Red Cross, are you?
No, I'm talking about unnamed entities.
Okay. I give blood to the American Red Cross 3 times a year pretty consistently.
We all know they just donate that blood to the local vampires.
It's either that or mosquitoes. And that's how our mosquito population stays so high.
So, Ura Kuruv Rekorchim, Awaken and Bring in Those Who Are Far, better known as URA, is an incorporated Orthodox Jewish outreach organization. It is a United States-based 501c3 nonprofit. So it's basically like recruiting.
So it's like Scientology,
Yeah, I was going to say, I believe Scientology does the same thing.
except it's for Jews.
FREE, it spells free, creditreport.com, baby.
Good God.
If only you would sing, Jay, we would have another one to compete.
He also won't say cock or penis or dick. A team of the 20 best trackers in the world. Now we're talking, military grade, police, SWAT, bounty hunters, etc. are given 48 hours to locate you. You have to stay in the lower 48 states and they are given your current location every hour, like down to GPS coordinates. If you evade capture, you get $1 million. If they catch you, you have to work your current position at work for minimum wage for 25 years. Do you take this chance?
It's not enough money, but I have questions. How
Yes.
far away are they from my position at the start of this thing?
So you all start in the same location, but you are given a 1 hour head start.
So 20 of the best trackers on Earth with all of their experience and equipment, and I get 60 whole minutes of a head start?
60 whole minutes,
Yeah,
but
that's
they
enough.
are not allowed to use emergency transport, i.e., they can't throw their blueies on and come after you. If they're driving, they have to drive the speed limit and act like a normal citizen.
Yeah, a million would not be enough for that because I don't want to be working 25 years from now at baseline, let alone at minimum wage.
Yeah, I think I would be pretty good at evading the normal average person, but no, not 20 of the best trackers. I'm not taking that bet.
But it's only 2 days.
Like if they didn't have my location beacon
Every hour?
every hour, I would take it because I guarantee you I could find a spot and no one would find me for 2 days.
But you could be an hour away from that spot in any direction.
So they get it an hour later, is what you're saying.
So they get your current position and they could be an hour away from that position. They could be 6 hours away from that position. So they pretty much are always an hour behind you if you continue to move.
Yeah, if you continue to move, the point of evading it usually is kind of like staying in one place.
Would they be cooperating with each other?
I mean, they'd probably have radios and phones and stuff like that.
Because here's my thought process. Let's just say hypothetically there's some island on a lake somewhere, then you've decided that's where you're going and it's remote enough, it's in the lower 48, life is good. If they know where that is and they get that beacon ping, they can go there because they know you're not going to get any further than an hour away from that spot. So they
Right.
get there, and then what? Like, they're super amazing at their job, so they find you pretty quickly, especially if it's all 20 of them, doing the dragnet, so to speak.
Surround and drown.
Yeah, I feel like everyone would succumb to that one.
But that's it's like I said, it's only 48 hours. That's 2 days. I think I would be able to stay awake for 2 days and stay on the move and continue to be an hour away from them. And as long as you move in some level of like zigzag pattern or maybe even doubling back on yourself, some sort of irrational, erratic movements, I think I could probably do it.
Yeah, my fat ass would get caught.
If Okay, so once they get your first location, let's say they go there and then all 20 of them spread out in like a pie graph on a clock, circle graph, whatever. You think you're going to be able to get far enough away from them that if they just continue working their zones, they're not going to find you?
Well, how do they get ahead of me? I'm an hour ahead of them already. So how do they surround me, basically?
I think they do the same thing the US Marshals would do and figure out where you're most likely to be and what your avenues are. And if they start geographically in a position where maybe they're an hour and a half from wherever you could possibly be and they kind of close in on you, I think you get found.
Yeah, they're going to narrow it down every hour based on your
Bloodhounds and
movement.
Malinois, man, we're screwed.
I mean, how long does it take to travel from one side of the United States to the other?
What's your what's your conveyance?
A car.
Let's say they get your GPS location and they start an hour away on the outside circle and make their way in.
Say that again.
Yeah, that same thing I said, only with different words. That's exactly my fear too.
Okay. Yours was just too complicated for me right now.
Yeah, put it this way: if I think I get a ping for you, and you're, at the Sears Tower in Chicago, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna go out to Kankakee and Springfield and some of the other areas around Illinois and find all the places that are roads, and we roadblock and walk in, unless you have a helicopter.
I said hypothetically, if they're traveling same or similar routes as you are, you should be approximately an hour away from that location if you're continuing to move. And they're going to have to gas up at gas stations just like you are.
I don't know. I don't know that I'd be able to coordinate the logistics well enough, especially not to work my current job for 7.25 an hour for
Yeah.
25 years.
It takes 45 hours to drive from coast to coast. So basically, you drive from North Carolina to California, and then either pick a general direction. You go north or south for 3 hours. I think I could feasibly do that. And the lower 48's a big swath of area.
I guess I see what you're saying, because if they can't like use a plane to get in front of you or ahead of you, way.
Yeah, it's not like they have every aspect. They are using the same types of transport that you are, feet and wheels.
I guess here's the thing, like if you take a slower road to somewhere and they take a highway speed road to somewhere, they could cut you off. And without knowing, like I don't know what traveling across country would be like, or how to do it, or where to stop, or et cetera, et cetera. Like
Yeah.
yeah, my knowledge is just not extensive enough to make this kind of feat happen.
I feel like with 48 different pings or even 47, 46 throughout, they'd be smart enough to pick up patterns. So I don't know if I'd be able to be random enough.
Well, clearly you don't have ADHD like I do because I can be very erratic and random.
If the prize was 10 million or 10 years continuing to work in the current position, that one I'd gamble on. But 1,025,000, no, I'm good.
Well, when you love what you do like I do,
You are so full of shit.
I wouldn't mind working for $7.25 an hour. Please don't cut my pay rate.
Oh, what do you mean? Like podcasting? I don't think we can cut $0.
Fuck you. No, I do genuinely believe I could probably do it. So I think what we need to do is put this to the test. I got to
All
call in
right.
some favors.
Are you gonna start a GoFundMe?
I'll call Mr. Beast and see if he is willing to fund this.
Just put out a job requisition on Indeed, and you'll just hire the 20 best trackers, and they won't get any money, I guess, for a weekend to play a game.
All right. I'm calling it. I'm guessing D is also not going to join us like I asked him to.
No surprise visits.
Thank you for joining us. Hope you are enjoying this podcast. If you are, feel free to comment and rate on any of the platforms that are available for that. If you do have something to discuss or want to give a shout out to anybody, you can email us at an unconventionalthreesome@gmail.com, or in most of the podcast platforms, you have the ability to send us a text, which will immediately send us all a notification. And once again, if you are enjoying it, tell your family and friends. Guys, ready for this week's Craigslist catastrophe that I'm currently scrolling through my phone to find?
Absolutely.
Well, and I can say, tell your coworkers too, because if you
Yeah, anyone you want to alienate, bring them into the fold.
yeah.
Yeah, and you can talk about all the traumatizing things that we talk about with them.
All the traumatizing things at work.
Trauma bonding, that's what that's called. All right, this Craigslist catastrophe comes to us from the Wanna Lancet page, which I have no idea where the fuck that is. Dumpster diving buddy in Mineville. Looking for a female friend who would like to go dumpster diving with me. I don't medically drive, unfortunately, but I've been itching to go again.
That sounds like a mess. Never mind.
This is John.
Jay's here too.
Oh, this is MK. Fuck the government.
See y'all in 2 weeks.
Laugh aloud. This podcast will make you proud. Podcast party time, grab a seat. Every listen feels so sweet. Tune in, tune out, laugh aloud. This podcast